Hello and welcome back to another Mock Draft Monday. What is going on? I am Matt O'Leary here with another style of mock draft. In today's episode, we are going to look at a Bryce Huff tag and trade and seeing what the New York Jets could look like with a mock draft after tagging and then trading Bryce Huff. For those of you that don't know, I would like to keep Bryce Huff on this team. I would love to figure out a way in order to retain Huff, extend him, sign him to a long-term deal. But this is what we do on this program. We do all different kinds of mock drafts to show you different things or different avenues the Jets could go down in order to complete a draft. And in this episode, we're going to take a look at tagging and trading Bryce Huff. So without further ado, let's hop into the episode. All right, let's hop right in, select a player. We are going to go down and use Bryce Huff, edge defender, Bryce Huff. And thinking of teams who have a second round pick, because that's what I think you would get normally, right? I think if you were to tag and trade Bryce Huff, I think you'd be looking at a second round pick. I think a team like Washington might make sense. They have 2 second rounders. They don't have very many edge rushers. They traded away Montez Sweat. They traded away Chase Young as well. So I see that as a team that could be a fit. And it's a top 40 pick in return. We'll force the trade because I'm not playing games with this thing. And then we'll get rocking and rolling here. But Bryce Huff tagged. Jets end up trading him for a second round pick. Washington has 2 second round picks. They need help with the position. So for this instance, the New York Jets are going to land pick 40 out of this. All right, so let's hop into it. Let's get rocking and rolling now and see what gets cooked up. Okay, in this mock draft, seems like a pretty simple one. Joe Alt goes pick 4 overall. And how about that? Malik Neighbors goes in before Marvin Harrison Jr., who goes pick 6. That's kind of crazy. But guess what? Olu Fashanu falls to the New York Jets at pick number 10. I think this is a no-brainer selection for this New York Jets team. They need help on the offensive line. They need help specifically at left tackle. I've talked about Talisi Fuaga a ton down here. I think he is someone that I'd be comfortable with taking at pick number 10 and is a player that I really like a lot, but I don't have him higher than Olu Fashanu, so I am taking Olu at pick 10, and then the Jets are going to be back on the clock at pick number 40, and I think this is an easy selection for the New York Jets, or an easy route for them to go anyway, which I love that for this exercise. I traded with the Washington Commanders, so you get the pick right ahead of where you were going to pick anyway. But I think you go wide receiver here. And not to say that you don't also sign a wide receiver, but I think it's important for the New York Jets to add weapons. And the weapon I like the most, it's not Keon Coleman. It's Adonai Mitchell, A.D. Mitchell from Texas. He's your prototypical outside receiver, 6'4", buck 90-something. I think he would be a home run pick here in the second round. So let's do it. Let's grab A.D. Mitchell. I like him more than I like Keon Coleman. I know Coleman was someone who was supposed to go in the first round, some thought, but I have some questions with Keon Coleman. So I'm going A.D. Mitchell here. So tackle, wide receiver. Interesting. Okay, so now the Jets are on the clock in the third round. I think this is a spot where you could look at the interior. Could go Zach Frazier. Could go Cooper Beebe. Could go Christian Haynes. I'm going to go Christian Haynes. I think that's a quality guard who has a good chance to start right away. Not that he would necessarily have to as a third-round pick, but the Jets desperately need help on the offensive line. If you've watched the playoffs, all these teams, they have success on the offensive line. The Jets are rebuilding theirs still all these years later. So using your premium or top draft picks on that position, I think is a wise one. So let's do that. Jets back on the clock in the fourth round. Couple options for the Jets here. Could go on the interior. Could go safety. I think it's a touch early for safety, or maybe interior defensive line would be the play at this spot. Zach Zinter is someone that we like a lot. Goes off the board a few picks beforehand. You have a trade down opportunity, but we already did a trade. I'm not necessarily looking to do that. Instead, what we'll do, we'll take a look on the interior of the defensive line. I think really the only two spots that you could debate going at this point is on the defense, that is safety or defensive tackle. If you want to take a look, if there's a quarterback that you really like, maybe Jordan Travis as your developmental guy, someone who was expected to go a little bit higher, instead gets hurt and is going to have to redshirt. So maybe this is what we'll do. I'm very team draft developmental quarterback for the Jets. So let's take Jordan Travis in the 4th round. Jets are going to be back up on the clock now. And this is a point, again, where you could probably, this is where I think you would be able to go. Either defensive tackle. I think it's probably early for some of those guys. Maybe wait around there. And then safety, Cole Bishop, James Williams. We'll go Cole Bishop out of Utah here in this spot. Round 6. All right. Interior defensive line. Could take a look. Miles Murphy. Keith Randolph Jr., someone that I really like a lot. I feel like I take him in every mock draft. So we're going to take Miles Murphy instead. Change it up. I like changing it up and doing some different things here. Okay. So I think, these are 7th round picks. You're just taking shots in the dark. We'll go tackle from Washington. Have this drop a little bit. 2 more picks to round out this draft class here. How do you not take a Iowa tight end? They being the Jets, have Tyler Conklin and Jeremy Ruckert, but there's no guarantee that Kenny Yeboah is going to be in that spot. They took a developmental tight end last year, but who knows what's going to happen there with Zach Kuntz. I'm willing to take that swing on it, to be honest with you. And then one more pick. You went with the tackle the last time. Grab Damani Richardson here. Okay. Let's take a look and see what our mock draft looks like. Here we go. Olu Fashanu gets an A. Adonai Mitchell, AD Mitchell gets an A-. So tackle, wide receiver, first 2 picks. Then 2 of the guard. They don't like the next 2 picks, but I think we could all admit as Jet fans they need help on the interior of the offensive line, and they could also probably use a developmental swing at the quarterback spot. Cole Bishop at safety, Miles Murphy on the interior from North Carolina, Roger Rosegarden, tackle in the 7th round, Eric All, a tight end out of Iowa, and Damani Richardson to close out the draft class from Texas A&M. Overall score got a B+, but I want to hear from you. What do you think of this scenario where we traded Bryce Huff for a 2nd round pick and then mocked? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Thank you so much for tuning into today's video. Once again, I'm Matt O'Leary. Subscribe if you're new. Give the video a like before you go. I appreciate all your support, and I'll catch you next time.